never. He was an athletic person. He is the one. It was like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they showed like the foreground shot of that into the whatever. No. This box will just the song. You want to do the interview? That boy good. You.
All right, Abson. So how did you first get into music?
That's a good question. I was always into music my whole entire life. My mom was in the choir at my church. She was in the praise team. My dad was the secular side of music. He would basically give me like different things like Janet Jackson, NSYNC, Britney Spears, all kinds of things that he loved to listen to, R&B, all that other stuff. And so when you intertwine that, I started really getting into music. I always loved music. So when it finally came to time, and I was obsessed. I would be the one to always take the aux cord, and not the Bluetooth, but the aux cord at the time, and just put it in and be like, yo, let me play what I want. So when the time to make music finally came, I decided to write songs. And then when I did my talent show in my junior year of high school, they was like, yo, you could really do something with this music stuff. And I was like, you know what? Bet, I'm gonna try it. So that's basically the story.
Okay, not bad. So who inspired you to make music?
I used to watch a lot of competition shows growing up. So stuff like American Idol, X Factor, America's Got Talent, things like that. I saw this kid. He was like a kid rapper. I didn't know anything about rap like that at the time. The only rap that I really knew about was like the Eminem, the Real Slim Shady video, because my dad would play it for me all the time. But other than that, I didn't know nothing about hip hop. I was just like, all right. Then when I heard this dude, he was just talking about stop looking at my mom, like that whole little aggressive energy that he brought in the first round. I was like, who is this rapper? And I was like, he went by the Astronomical Kid. And then I kept watching his journey throughout the show. He made it to the top 7 in a singing competition. It was like a singing competition where a rapper made it to the top 7 in the list. I was like, this is super inspiring, man. And the way he was making renditions of songs, like from Eminem, from Puff Daddy, he was writing his own lyrics. It was like an every week thing where you have to write your own song. He would have to write his songs every week. Nobody else was doing that on the show. He was writing his raps every week to fit the song. And then I was like, wow. You know what I mean? So he really inspired me to make music and really just start doing it. And then, I just kind of went from there. And I started listening to all kinds of hip hop because of him.
So how would you describe the music that you typically create? How would you describe your standard or your style of music?
Well, again, the main genres I love are hip hop and R&B. So it would mainly be in those demographics, mainly hip hop, because hip hop is more of my centerpiece of what I want to place into the music. But contemporary R&B would be there too. Anything that can resemble things that I loved as a kid, that I want to incorporate into the new age of music, and just kind of combine it with the new age sounds of music. Just old and new, just kind of just making it in that regard. So and you have it in the cases of some of my songs. So I would say that.
Interesting. Okay. So as an artist, is there anybody that you like to collaborate with? What are the type of people that you usually collaborate with?
I would say this.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a great question. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like both R&B and hip hop, so it's a hard thing. So I love singers. I love female singers. I love when female singers hop on songs and just create. So I would say you know, the Janae Aikos, the whole Summer Walkers, the SZAs, the any little female artists that you could, the Marsha Ambrioses, that the underrated stuff, Melanie Fiona's, like just adding them to your songs to make little contrasts or little comparisons, correlations to what you're doing on the song. It's always been fun for me to even, you know, do that. So I would say some of those female artists would be people I'd work with. But if you're talking like a main artist, I'd say Drake, because Drake was really one of the biggest standards in regards to combining R&B and hip hop in the melodic sense, and it's a lot of the influence that I have in my music currently. And
I want to know what everybody want to know. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to know who you want to collab with in Orlando or in Florida, female, male. That's what they really want to know, low key.
Okay.
If you could open up for like any artist at any show, what type of artist or would you like to open up for?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'd say to circle back.
I got an answer for that too, though.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I mean, I'm gonna let you answer it first, but I'm gonna have my own answer from my standpoint.
All right, for sure. To circle back, it would be you. You'd be probably the main male artist I would want to collaborate with. I know you're not from Florida, but you know, you'd probably be the main person. I was always fiending to work with you as soon as I heard your music. So that was one thing.
And if you could real quick, could you can you introduce the person that you have with you?
Actually, this is Aundrae Black. You know what I mean? MCOworldwide.com.
What's good, people?
Check out his website. Check out all his music, man. He's got this dope project, like the 4 Seasons collection. My favorite is the
whole thing, right?
It's a whole thing. It's like, but the spring season is my favorite. You know, it's got more my favorite.
Hold on. Why is the spring your favorite? This is a good question too.
Spring season. I say the spring season because it just had so many vibes that correlated with what I liked at the time. It was just like it was dropped during the pandemic kind of thing. So it was like in the cool down of the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then I was just listening to it, and then I was just like the brass kind of energy that I heard even from the beginning, like from the Imperfections record,
right,
to the ending, doing it myself, like the whole brass energy, like, yo, this is the shit this is the stuff that I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yo, this is what I want, Aundrae. You outdid yourself on this one.
I appreciate you, bro.
You know, it's just always on rotation. And then, you know, I called my homie about it. It was like, yo, we was just going back and forth with like what our favorite songs was on the project, and we would compare it to like what are some of your other projects before and after.
Yeah.
It would be a crazy thing. So yeah, that's why it just resonated with me the most, and it has my favorite song from you on it, which is Moving Up.
Yeah, Moving Up is that's Cam. Shout out my brother Cam too,
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching this. That was one of his favorite songs too. But yeah, the spring was very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
I had just came off like I want to say maybe a year or 2 year hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? From like not really making too much music. I know I did drop the Fall Edition not too long before that one, but whatever. But to get back on that answer though, right, about who we should open up for. I'm gonna be real with you at this stage in Abson's career, and I don't really want to speak for him, but if we talk business, I believe that he should be open to opening up for almost anybody. You know what I mean? We're not really at the stage to where we can kind of like be super picky. However, we can be super picky within what demographic we want to place him in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if a Trippie Redd, and you know, no disrespect to Trippie Redd or anybody else, but if one of those artists came to Orlando, I wouldn't think that would be a good move for Abson to open up for him. However, if the opportunity arose or it came, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't really like, you know, turn it down. But you know, everything we do right now has to be intentional. It has to make sense, right? Abson is a specific type of artist. He has a specific type of message, and I don't want that message to be tainted by putting him in different genres or markets of music that don't really make sense, if that makes sense. So yeah.
No, for sure. I see where you're coming from in that regard. Again, I'm like because like you said, I'm open to anything for the most part. I'm open to, you know, because I don't want to be put in the box either. That's another thing I don't want to be put in, like where, oh, he makes this kind of music, so he's here. Because I want to be able to appeal to everybody. I want to be able to be world, like, you know, on some Michael Jackson type stuff, just like
vibes.
Michael Jackson type stuff. Because like I heard this fun fact, like from when I was in an interview with Daisy Del Toro. She was telling me, hey, Hispanic people listen to anything. Our top artist is Michael Jackson. It's not even a Hispanic artist. It's Michael Jackson.
Right.
So it's like, you know, that kind of impact where you could be like the top person in another country and you're not even there, you don't even speak their language, which is the crazy thing. So in that regard, yeah, I would never want to be put in a box. I want to be able to circle and then be like, oh, yo, it doesn't matter what kind of songs I do. It don't matter what kind of genre I'm in. When I pop out, I pop out. And it's like, yo, like we're going to listen to this no matter what, you know? So I agree in that regard. That's my answer to that question.
And that makes sense. And, you know, as far as like the whole Drake reference and, you know, wanting to collab with him because, you know, we all know that every time Drake drops, it doesn't even matter if you're Hispanic, you know what I'm saying, African, whatever, you know what I'm saying, yellow, orange.
Facts.
It just resonates, you know what I mean? And I feel like Abson, his music just, like I tell people all the time, it's easy digestible and it resonates with everyone. My own grandparents, you know, at 70-something years old, they love what he got going on. And you know that's kind of hard for older people to be able to really tap into something that was, well, you know, I guess like that's been made from somebody that was 50 years younger than him, in a sense, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay, so just continuing on what we last left off, what is one message would you give to your fans?
I would say thank you guys for always supporting and always just tuning into everything that I got going on, in spite of the changes, and just really supporting my new sound and my new experimentations, because I'm trying to experiment all the time within my music to make the best product, and I'm trying to make the best product every time that I come out. And every time it needs to be better and better and better. So thank you guys for even, you know, tuning in.
You know, what's something that's like an insecurity, if you have any?
An insecurity.
That's a good question. I like vulnerability questions.
I mean, so, well, if you're talking in that context, I always have an insecurity about people not really liking what they see when I go on stage. So, and I would always have the butterfly effect, you know, before I go on stage and be like jumping up and down, just trying to remember. Like I would, when we were at Dream City, when you guys didn't see me, it was because I was outside trying to practice the song, making sure it was straight in my head, even though I practiced it a million times. It'd always be like, I gotta practice it again, I gotta practice it again, I gotta practice it again to make it right. Because, you know, this is make it or break it. You never, like everybody says, you never know who's there, you never know who's watching, you never know, you know, kind of like the Kobe Bryant thing where he would always be like, if I had a chance, I would never miss a game if I wasn't injured. He said, I would never miss a game because what about the million fans that are there to watch me? People that never seen me before on the court. What if they're, you know? So that kind of effect, it kind of comes to me all the time. So what if the people don't like it? I got to make sure it's straight. I got to make sure it's perfect. So that's really my main insecurity that I feel like it doesn't really, you know, help anybody. You know, it's just really something to myself that I really feel insecure about.
To add on to that question then, so would you say that you sing in the shower or do you practice in, you know, in your spare time, or
I do both.
And if you do, what type of songs that you sing or rap to that gets you like in the zone?
That's a great question. Yeah, I sing in the shower. I do vocal exercises like in my room most of the time when I'm been changing clothes and things like that. But I also do in the shower too. Start singing or rapping, you know, freestyle. I would just put any random beat on when it comes to a rap, and just kind of just rap a little bit, see what I can come up with in my head. Whether it's my own songs that I'm trying to write or just something I'm trying to like go off the dome. And then singing is the same thing. I would just be singing. Usually it would be a song that would probably get me in the zone. That's probably Hate It or Love It by The Game. That's like one of the biggest songs that kind of like put me in that zone. Like, you know, hate it or love it, the underdog's on top, so I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart stops. Like that always spoke to me every time, like, because I'm like, bro, I'm the underdog. I'm the underdog.
Definitely the underdogs in this, for sure.
You sure we underdogs? So it's like, bro, like I'm gonna make him like, you may not like me, I'm gonna make you like me. You may not like me, but you're gonna see me. You're gonna know. That's why my personality is with music has always been in your face. It always been like, yo, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get this, because I've even heard that before about myself. Just like, yo, this kid is gonna come at you. This is one of my homies told me. He said, this kid is gonna come at you. He's gonna come. And that's how I am. So I'm gonna keep it going. So those are my answers.
If it wasn't for your music career, is there any other secondary thing that you would have been doing right about now? Like, would there have been any other field, careers, or any other interests that you would possibly like just be open to, if not for this music stuff?
See, the crazy thing is that my parents kind of had a plan for me. They already kind of had it plot and set for me, because I didn't really have like a set thing in my mind, because my first dream was like any random, like it's another kind of statistical kind of thing. I wanted to be a basketball player like every other like kid, you know. I was in the court every day, but you know, when I saw that didn't work, entertainment was my outlet, and entertainment was something I was always into. So it would have been one or the other, but I don't think I would have been in any other kind of career, you know, because I was always randomly switching, because I really didn't know. Because I had a mom that was always like, yo, pick a career. I already have what you want. Like at 10, 11 years old, just imagine that, 10 or 11 years old, she's telling you, you have to have a job, you have to have a career. So I just kind of steered away from that, because, you know, I was just a kid. I didn't really like think about it in that way. But then when music came into the picture, you know, it just changed my whole perspective. It gave me an outlet. And I figured this is something I could really do something in. So no, there wouldn't have been any other thing outside of maybe sports, something in the sports realm, because I love statistics about sports. And I was usually the guy everybody would go to about the games back when I was a kid. Like, yo, who's playing this game? Who's playing this game? Yo, who won this game? Who won this game? And I would just explain it. So that would be probably the other career.
So I know you've been out to shows and you've been performing often. Are there any sort of venues that you like performing at? And if so, what are they?
For sure.
I got one to add.
Bet.
I want to see Abson perform at Beach. Orlando. I'm talking to Orlando right now. I want to see Orlando perform at Beacham. Whatever we need to do to make that happen, let's make that happen. If anybody deserves it right now, it's this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I want to see Abson perform at Beacham, and then the next step would be like, I don't know, like Tier, Amway. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that.
Okay, great. Do you have any upcoming shows? Has anybody booked you? And if so, where can they find you to book you for any upcoming shows or businesses that they have to offer?
I'd say that's to be decided. So that's something I'm gonna let you guys be on the lookout for. But if you actually want to book me for a show or for features or anything like that, you can head to my website at mzoworldwide.com/Abson. Again, mzoworldwide.com/ABSON, and then you could go ahead and click to book me, and then you can just go from there.
Yeah, all the information is right there on the website. You guys can book him for interviews. You can book him for his features, live performances. He can even walk you through a brand ambassador program. Don't sleep. You feel me?
Sure.
He not one of them.
Okay, amazing, great. So you guys have it all figured out. So how do you feel like the internet has impacted the music business as a whole, and also has impacted your music and how music is distributed nowadays?
Well, I mean, the internet has impacted a lot of things. I mean, obviously, it's made it more accessible for everybody to get music, obviously, because, you know, it was always used to be the hard CDs. It's a great thing and it's a bad thing at the same time, because while it's easily accessible, I should say, like, you're never gonna beat the feeling of actually going out and buying a CD, like buying a CD of your favorite artist. You know.
Can I interlude real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what the internet feels like with me? Like when we create content, it's somewhat a feeling of like gambling. And the reason why I say that is because imagine like a piece of content being like a quarter in a machine at like you know, at a casino or something. Like you're hoping that it hits big. You know what I mean? Like every piece of content that we put out there, we're hoping that, you know, it really gravitates or it really reaches the people it needs to reach, because, you know, the law of 10. You know, 1 out of 10 people are really going to like what you got to push out. So on the bad side of it, what I believe the internet, I feel like it creates this obsession with wanting to like always be seen or always be constantly gratified, or you know, everyone always wanted to like be this sensation, right? On the flip side of that though, I believe the internet has been a great like asset to everyone, because like now we can push content out, we can expose a product, you get what I'm saying? Based upon your demographics and your analytics, we can understand who really wants to listen to you, rather than you pushing out information towards people who really don't care. You know what I mean? So yeah, I believe data within how you use the internet is one of the biggest things.
Definitely a benefit, but it's also a curse at the same time, because like you said, everybody want to be seen. And then the magic of, even though I know it was a harder road back in the day before this was more accessible, it was kind of like, it was a good thing in a sense, because it was again, the magic was there, because again I would always hear, and I would have stories with my homie Wes about this. He would be like, he would never take away the feeling that he had actually going in line to get a CD with his family. Right. Like, he got Confessions on CD. He got the College Dropout.
Where you buy it from?
I believe it was a Best Buy. I believe.
I brought my first CD. It was Young Jeezy Trap or Die at Barnes and Nobles. Yeah. You feel me? Shout out to Barnes and Nobles. Yes, they had that Trap or Die Young Jeezy in there. You feel me? Hey, you feel me? But nah, that was my first ever like CD that I ever brought. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can never take away that kind of magic that Essence had. You know, where everything was pumping out. It was like an anticipation for that actual CD. And then yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta see that again. Yo, I really like how it wasn't like that. Just small talk. Just small talk, shit like that. Just get to know her a little bit. Get to know her a little bit. So, yeah, I wish she was at the shoot. Like, again, I wish I knew what time you know, cause let me see. Let me just